What if I told you that you can buy a house of any kind without having a 9-to-5 job, without applying for a home loan or utilizing any credentials, whether you have a good or bad credit score or no credit score at all? Would you believe me? That's exactly what I have just done with this property behind me. I purchased this duplex behind me as my investment property that I am house hacking without applying for a loan, show my pay stubs, or using my credit score. In this video, I will give you a quick tour of this house and show you how you can do the same. And by the end of this video, I will give you a full breakdown on the numbers and how much exactly it costs me out of my pocket to make this duplex of my own. Let's go. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Red, and you primarily know this channel for everything cars, car hacking, and car flips. And most likely you probably found this channel because of 3K to Exotic trade-up challenge that I've been doing on this channel for a while now. And behind me, two latest cars at the time of recording this video. This is the car number 19 and this is the car number 20. And this video is going to be the 3K to Exotic real estate edition by popular demand. In one of the most recent episodes, I moved to a new place randomly out of the blue. I put an offer on this property behind me that was accepted. It was a ridiculous offer. We'll get into it by the end of this video. And now I am a proud owner of this investment property. So anyways, let's tour this property. I will give you a quick tour. There's not much going on about this property. It is a great investment property, but it's pretty down to basics kind property. So anyways, if you guys haven't seen the latest episode yet, how I acquired both of these vehicles, you should go and check it out for sure. But the nicest thing about investment properties that you should look for is the lack of front yard, really. There's no gardening happening on this property. There's no backyard that much. There is no pool, which only means that you're gonna have less maintenance headaches and expenses associated with all the maintenance when it comes to investment properties. Anyways, now let's enter this house. Now we're inside the house. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, about 950 square feet space. Again, this is a duplex. As you see, this is actually my space. I live in one of the units. And again, when it comes to numbers, I will give you the full breakdown by the end of this video. For now, let's indulge ourselves showing the space around me where I live now. For a single guy, this is a perfect space. So anyways, we're gonna start with most of you already know in the process of moving here, I'm not a single guy anymore, but that was the intention. Anyways, this is the kitchen, and it's not a big kitchen, but it has enough space to do your kitchen activities. Also here, conveniently, we have the washer and dryer, all brand new units. And speaking of brand new, this duplex is only 2.5 years old, which again, a big benefit when it comes to investment properties, because the property I moved away from that I got rid of, which I also bought, was almost 100 years old, and the maintenance upkeep was absolute nightmare. I didn't like it. It was a cool house, charming in the historic neighborhood, but I'm not at the point where I can spend a lot of money on upkeeping the house. Not there yet, all right? So that's the kitchen. Now the living room, obviously, all in the one space, and it is pretty well organized for 950 square feet, the size of the space. So this is it, all right? So looks good. Simple, down to basics. Here's the bathroom, also pretty small. Everything that needed in the bathroom there is. Everything here, all right. And then I utilize one of the bedrooms of this duplex as my office. This is where the YouTube magic happens. Check this out. Here's the whiteboard that you guys all love with the breakdown on all numbers that I do. This is beautiful, not my creation. But the backdrop of the space that I use for my breakdown on the budget at the end of each episode for 3K to Exotic is right here. And guess who put all these books together? Guess who did that? Check this out. This is how I sit down. If you can see it, come here, baby. Oh, there she is. And she did the 3K to Exotic graphic on my whiteboard as well. Thank you very much, baby. Anyways, get back to work now.
You know this is gonna cost you? An Olipop, the last one.
All right, so we discovered this is off topic. We discovered this soda that is extremely, can we say healthy? Yeah, they have some organic.
Please just sponsor us, please.
Olipop, we want you to sponsor us because we've been drinking it every day.
Olipop fridge, please.
Olipop fridge. Anyways, yeah, so this is my office. As you guys can see, there's still echo going on, okay? We still have some finishes that need to be done, like this picture I need to learn how to play guitar. I lied to Hannah that I know how to play. Here's my camera, my main camera that I use for all these episodes. So this is the space, one of the bedrooms that I utilize as my office, all right? So now there's this little room that is more like a storage. There's our dog's little bed, and then cool shoes that I have, all right? Anyways, now we go to actual bedroom. What's going on again? Closet is good enough size for all my stuff, at least, yeah. And then we have a drawer right there, and that's about it, really. That's the whole tour of this investment property. To me, the value is in how I got this property, really, which we're about to sit down and discuss. And when I got this property, I already got it with a tenant in place. So tenant pays for half of the mortgage. So there is a mortgage in place, but my name is not under the mortgage. My name is actually on the deed, on the title of the property. So if you looked it up, who owns this property, which even if I wanted to disclose, I can't really because YouTube doesn't like it. Even if I were to disclose it, so you're gonna see my name, who owns this property. I'm paying taxes. I'm obviously keeping the maintenance and paying the bills, doing the repairs, all of it. So since this is a duplex, it came with a tenant who pays for a little more than half of the mortgage. And with that being said, now let's sit down and talk numbers and how you can also buy similar house with any loan in place. And speaking of the loan, this house has a VA loan in place. I never served in the military, so you can still do that on your own. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, now let's talk the numbers. And before we do so, let me give you a little more context about this whole process and how you can actually legally buy a house for yourself or investment property to rent out without utilizing any credentials, without going to a bank, applying for a loan, showing the pay stubs, and using your credit score. It is a full legal process. It is called subject to existing mortgage. That's one of the ways to legally buy or sell real estate. Most of the people only know about two ways. It's either purchasing the property using straight up cash or applying for a loan conventionally. That's it. But there's so many other ways to do so, and one of them is subject to existing mortgage. If there was no mortgage in place, then you can buy the house also utilizing seller finance, avoiding banks and directly dealing with the seller and basically negotiating the terms like the purchase price, the length of the term, right? Whether it's 10-year, 15, 30-year period of the loan length, right? And the interest rate. All of that is negotiable, and you guys primarily know this channel for the 3K to Exotic Trade Up Challenge, which is on its own a very creative way of getting to the Lambo, the Lamborghini Gallardo, my childhood dream car. In not only car ways I apply that mentality, specifically the Gallardo within this challenge, but also in life in general. We don't have to go the orthodox, usual, normal ways about life. I truly believe contrary thinking actually gets you far in life. And if you think different, then you're gonna have the results in life that most people don't, and they can't even imagine. So open your mind and utilize it, because human brain, human mind is a very powerful tool that our creator, our father gave us. So we gotta utilize it. Anyways, look into that. I can't really give you much more than that. I would love to teach you, but I just don't want to turn this channel into anything but cars, okay? That's my passion currently. And just to add to that, about 2 years ago is when I launched my YouTube channel. I actually made a separate video explaining more in depth and giving real life example of this whole process. I still do real estate on the side. That's something I'm probably gonna do for the rest of my life, and you should do as well, because every person on earth should own a piece of real estate. I truly believe that, and it changes your mentality when you become an owner, okay? So I stand by it, I do it, but I just don't show it anymore on my channel. Occasionally on the sidelines, just because you guys requested, I talk about it, just like I am talking about this real estate acquisition, my latest real estate deal in this video, but only because you guys asked me for it. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. So I'm actually appreciative of you asking. That means you guys want to think differently, you want to improve your lives, and that is awesome. Much respect for that. So if you want to connect with me and and learn more details and some directions in more details, then reach out to me on Instagram or just join the Car Lab community, okay? I'm gonna leave it in the description. I'm still building this community, and that's what I wanna do. I wanna do cool things with cool people, all right? So again, go follow me on Instagram and join the community. We'll talk more about not only cars, but real estate and everything else that I am interested in to improve our lives, all right? So now let's get to specific numbers on this property. Again, I acquired this property utilizing subject to existing mortgage option to buy real estate. And this specific property happened to have a VA loan in place, which you can only utilize when you serve or served at some point in military. But I still got it somehow. Again, all legally, all right? So this house has 5.1% interest rate, which is incredible because in current interest rate environment, which is higher than 6% or I think 7%, I don't even know what the bank rates are. I don't care because I don't need to go apply for a loan and put a down payment and go through all these hoops and challenges that traditionally you have to go through just to get a loan, home loan. I like to avoid it. I like doing things differently. And luckily there's not just me doing that. And there was a lot of great people who taught me this. All right, so I utilized this house with a VA loan, 5.1% interest rate, which is incredible. And I put no money down to buy this house, all right? I only paid closing costs and real estate agent fees because this house was listed on the MLS, which is the marketplace for real estate. If you guys have no idea what that is, just look up the MLS and you're gonna be able to find out. Again, I don't wanna turn this into real estate channel, all right? Okay, now for full transparency, as I am always with you guys, especially within the 3K to Exotic Trade App Challenge, I'm gonna show you something called HUD statements, all right? It's also called settlement statement. That's the document issued at every real estate transaction with every breakdown when it comes to numbers. I cannot show you the address, like I said, I can't obviously show the seller and some other very sensitive information because I might get in trouble, but I will show you the date, the numbers, and what it cost me to get this house under my belt utilizing this creative method of buying real estate, all right? So as you see, the contract sales price is a very odd number. It's $496,908.81. Why is it? Why the purchase price is this weird number? Well, because it is the balance, current mortgage balance on this loan, okay? That's what the seller of this house owed on this property before I took it over. So I basically took over the existing mortgage. And to get into more little details again, the deed of the property and the loan on it, the ownership, the document of ownership called deed, and the loan for the property don't have to be linked to the same person. So when you do subject to existing mortgage, the loan stays in seller's name and the deed transfers to the new buyer, to the new owner, which in this case, that's me, all right? So that is why the number, the sales price is so odd because it was current mortgage balance. And then the line 103 says settlement charges to borrower, that is $15,617. That's what it costs me out of my pocket to acquire this real estate, all right? And again, at the end, the line 1400 summarizes the total of how much I had to pay to acquire this property, which is incredible. If you go traditionally apply for real estate right now, you at least have to put, I think, like 5% down. And that's before closing costs, before paying the agent fees and title fees and everything else that is associated with buying real estate. So that can cost you tens of thousands of dollars, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, depending on the purchase price of the property, obviously. So I bought this property at $496,000, right? Let's say it's $497,000. It didn't even cost me full 3% to fully acquire this property. So I paid zero to the seller, zero down. I only paid closing costs, some other fees associated, like I said, there's title fees, lender fees, and blah, 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 blah. Bureaucracy, terrible, boring, whatever. It's just part of life. And agent fees, all it is to say that it cost me $15,617 to close this transaction and become an owner of this property. And my monthly payment with the 5.1% interest rate in place is $3,180. So $3,180 $4,180 is what I pay on a monthly basis. And my tenant next door in the second unit, since this is a duplex, pays for a little more than half of that. So this is a good deal for me as the owner of this duplex. I'm somewhat house hacking, and when rent is so expensive nowadays in the US, this is incredible. And when I hear that Donald Trump currently implementing, or at least playing with an idea of 50-year mortgages, this strategy actually makes even more sense, because at 50-year mortgage situation, now you never really get to own your house, and over time you're gonna pay probably at least 3 times or maybe even 4 times of the original purchase price of the house. So if I bought this house, let's say a duplex for $500,000 with a 50-year mortgage, then I would probably in total pay over $1.5 million. And I would be 82, 83 years old. That's absolutely insane. When average life expectancy in the US is like 74 or 75 for a man, I wouldn't even fully own the house. It doesn't make sense. So that's why I utilize this creative way of purchasing the property, subject to, which this house was purchased by the seller 2.5 years ago when this was built brand new. He paid more for it than what I paid for it now. Again, taking over existing mortgage at $496 and $907. Whatever that number was earlier. And all I had to pay just $15,600 and with some change. So you guys should look into it. And like I said, in the very beginning of my YouTube journey, I was dabbling around, trying different niches and just making videos about things I was interested in. It wasn't one of them is real estate. So I made a full video, the real life example, like I mentioned earlier, and probably that's going to be really helpful for you to watch. It is a absolute cringe video, tremendously cringe. I laugh when I watch my old videos. Maybe that only means that I somehow got better at it. But avoid the cringe, avoid a lot of gestures, because there is a lot of gestures in my early videos. Just stick to the information because it is very useful. It is still relevant, and I share more of the strategy subject to existing mortgage, how to buy real estate creatively in that video, with the resources and ways how you can find your first or maybe next house or real estate acquisition as an investment property or making it your own, utilizing this incredible creative strategy called SubTo, subject to. Anyways, let me know what do you think of this specific video in the comments below. As you guys know, I read all of your comments and I truly appreciate all your feedback. Whatever I can help you with, I'm here for it. But next video, we are going back to the 3K to Exotic. This is just the side video, something that I wanted to give you value with, but our main focus is still the 3K to Exotic Trade Up Challenge and everything when it comes to cool cars and car hacking. I'll see you in the next one.
That's really good.